right, so now we're actually going to use this little conversion table over here, and we're going to use what we've learned about the tens place and place value to convert between place values. So the question is, how many hundreds in 3,000s? How many hundreds, pay attention, it's not hundredths, it's hundreds, in 3,000s? How many hundreds in 3,000s? Well, over here earlier we said that there are 10 hundreds in 1,000. So there are 10 hundreds in 1,000. So when we count by hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400. When we count by tens, 10, 20, 30. Okay, so if we do this, we have 10 hundreds equals 1,000. Therefore, 20 hundreds equals 2,000. And 30 hundreds equals 3,000. So 30 of these is going to equal 3 of these. 30 hundreds equals 3,000s. 10 hundreds equals 1,000, but 30 of these equals 3,000. So how many hundredths are in 5/10ths? How many hundredths are in 5/10ths? So we're looking at hundredths. In 5/10ths or 5/10ths. So looking at this, the easiest way for me to solve this problem is to make a place value chart. So we're going to go through and do that very quickly. We're going to make a place value chart, and let's start out with our line across here. And we want to make sure that we have the decimal point. And then we're going to go to the left of the decimal. And create those place values. And then we'll go to the right of the decimal to create these place values. So, it's a really cool thing that can happen. And we'll talk about that in just a second. This is the thousandths. This is the hundredths. This is the tenths. This is the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands. So it's asking us how many hundredths are in 5/10ths. How many hundredths are in 5/10ths? So we're going to put a decimal point here, and we're going to put a 5 there. Now, the really cool thing about the decimal point, and really any number, is to get the value of that number, we can put zeros in the other place values. So we can tell right now, if we were just going to go to the hundredths, there are 50 hundredths in 5/10ths. There are 50 hundredths in 5/10ths. If we wanted to go to the thousandths, we could go, there are 500 thousandths in 5 tenths. 500 thousandths in 5 tenths. Okay? So when we're changing a larger place value to a smaller place value, we can look at it this way. Let's say we had 5 thousands and we wanted to know how many hundreds were in 5 thousands. If you have a place value chart, all you have to do is put zeros in there. How many hundreds are in 5 thousands? Look here. There are 50 hundreds in 5 thousands. There are 500 tens in 5 thousands. There are 5,000 ones in 5,000. We could go even further and say there are 50,000 tenths, 500,000 hundredths, or 5,000,000 thousandths. So we could go that far. All we have to do to go from a higher place value to a lower place value is make sure that there are zeros in the place value and check and see from the number that we're starting with or the place value we're starting with to the place value we're ending with, how many zeros are there. So there are 50 hundreds in 5,000. So if we wanted to know how many ones are in 4 tens, how many ones are in 4 tens? Here's our tens, here's our ones. We're going to a lower place value. That 0 is a placeholder. There are 40 ones in 4 tens. 40 ones in 4 tens. If we wanted to draw a picture to check ourselves, we could. We could draw 40 of these little things. And we could draw 4 of the tens. 40 ones equals 4 tens. But using a place value chart is easier for some people. So you can either draw your picture, you can use your manipulatives, or you can create a place value chart. So now again, if we're looking at the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, and we want to know how many hundredths are in 4 tenths. So here's our decimal point 4. We're going over to the hundreds place. So we're moving to the right. We're going from a larger place value to a smaller place value. So we have 40 hundredths. 40 hundredths equals 4 tenths. This can also be written as 0.4 is equal to 0.40, which is also equal to 0.400 if we were going to thousandths. So 400 thousandths, 40 hundredths, 4 tenths. Those are all equal. They're equal fractions, equal portions of a whole. Now we've talked about that. Basically what we're doing is we're showing that the smaller the pieces, the more of them you need to get your number. The smaller the pieces, so if we have ones, we need more ones to get these bigger numbers than we do tens or hundreds. Same with our fractional pieces. We need more pieces of these smaller numbers to get to the bigger numbers. All right. Now we're going to work on moving from a smaller place value to a larger place value. That will be the next video.